Good afternoon, everybody, and thank you for taking the time to join this webinar. Here in Tirlán, we're collaborating with one of our key dairy ingredients customers, Bailey's, to support our farm families' positive environmental actions. And with this, we launch year 3 of our Sustainable Farming Academy. As part of this Sustainable Farming Academy, there are 20 part-time, fully funded Level 7 diploma places available for a diploma in Environment, Sustainability and Climate. This course is mostly online, which is delivered by University College Cork, and our suppliers' prior learnings and experience is taken into account as part of this, with the number of modules that are required to complete being reduced in recognition of this prior learnings. So all suppliers interested in this diploma are requested to have their diploma expressions of interest forms completed online and returned to UCC by the 28th of June. To discuss this diploma in much greater detail, we are joined by Belinda Gascoigne, who is the course director from UCC. And Belinda will take us through the details of the diploma, what to expect, when it's starting. We're also joined this afternoon by one of our farmer members, Shane O'Loughlin. Shane is gonna talk us through his experience on the course. So I suppose when we're listening to Belinda's and Shane's pieces, your questions are always welcome. So please send in any of your questions to the team's Q&A section. Belinda, thank you for joining this webinar, and you're very welcome. And we now look forward to your presentation.
Thank you very much, Matthew. I'm delighted to be with you all this afternoon. So yeah, just as Matthew just said there, I'm just going to share a few slides just to give you a little bit more insight into the programme and what's involved and what you can expect. So just bear with me for 1 second while I bring my slides up to share with you. So as Matthew mentioned, it's a Level 7 Diploma in Environment, Sustainability and Climate. And so this would be normally a 60 credit programme over 2 years. It's part-time, as you said, at the Level 7, and that's on the National Irish Framework of Qualifications. However, of course, as Matthew mentioned, you all have such a large bank of knowledge already, and as part of the process of recognising that under the RPL, or Recognition of Prior Learning process that we undertook with Tirlán at the start of the Sustainable Farming Academy, it was recognised that you have the knowledge in comparison to 30 credits of that programme. So that really means is that you now only have to complete 3 of the modules and 60 credits in total to achieve your diploma, which is an absolute fantastic recognition of the knowledge and practice that you already have. So the modules then that are left to be undertaken are these 3 modules. So AD 1084 there, an Introduction to Earth Sciences, gives you a little bit more information on, the geology, what's under our feet, I suppose, really, and something you're quite familiar with, but we get into much more detail into it, and we look at chemical cycles and soil types, etc., and things like that. And we also go on a field trip looking at that. The second module there, another 10 credit module, AD 1085, gives us perspectives on climate change and sustainable development. So here we're looking at climate science, looking at mitigation and adaptation strategies, and looking at just the whole area of sustainable development and how it relates to your work. And then the final module you undertake is AD 2033, the practical environmental management. And here that's kind of a mix of different things that we look at, from energy, environmental monitoring systems, conservation management, flood management, and sustainable practice and control and exploitation of natural resources. And as you can also see there on the slides, we also interlink all of this teaching and learning with the Sustainable Development Goals, which you may be familiar with already. So I suppose what we're saying here is that these 3 modules make up those 30 credits over the year of study towards your diploma. So just going into them in a little bit more detail, and of course, because they are an accredited programme, it does come with some assignment work, but please don't be deterred by that. They're all very much geared towards agriculture and your practice on the farms every day. So, you know, things like essays and practicals and field work, blogs and presentations, and all of these kind of different activities, you know, that are expected as part of the assignments are all very much, you know, themed towards your work. And you know, so that you can get the most out of them. And I suppose most importantly as well is that when we're delivering the programme to you, all of those modules are delivered with, of course, a broader global sense, in that climate and sustainability are global challenges that we face. However, you know, we look at them also at a national level in terms of what's going on, you know, in Ireland and the EU, I suppose, as well. And then bring it back down locally onto your farm. So the assignments help and are geared towards then being able to put that into practice on your farms. So the delivery of them, I suppose, very importantly for you is that, like, you're very busy people, and so what time is it going to involve if you put yourself forward to do this programme? So the lectures are delivered on a part-time basis, predominantly online. We have live lectures just once a week for on one evening, normally Tuesday evening at the moment. And that's a live discussion with the lecturer for that week. But leading into that week, you get pre-class work, and that's released, we'll say if your class is on the Tuesday night live, the following next week's content will be released on the Wednesday for you. So over that week, then you've got, you know, you can plan when you've got some time to dip in and out around your work and family commitments. And it's all broken down into little chunks of 20-30 minutes, so you can come and go from it over the week. And typically in total you'll spend 3 hours roughly probably over the week doing that. And then I suppose bringing in the assignments then as well. So overall we kind of say that there's a week commitment of somewhere between 3 and 5 hours to undertake all of that. The course does then, of course, include some face-to-face, which we find invaluable, to be fair, and, you know, to bring everyone together. And that involves usually 2 to 3 visits here to UCC, maybe out on a geology trip, and perhaps even a farm visit as well. Because it's really important that you have that networking and sharing of practice. And also you get to meet other students of the diploma that are from all other sectors as part of that as well, that are studying in another group of students. In terms of the delivery time frame, then we look at running it from somewhere around mid-September, late September to August. But actually there is no classes kind of from really the end of January, start of February to about mid-April, to allow for that really busy calving season that you have. And so we kind of really we kind of give you a break there so that you can concentrate on that, and then we bring you back in for a number of months then just to work into the summer to finish off the programme with us. So I suppose just in terms of the university and what we give you, like, there's lots of supports there. We're very experienced, you know, working with adult learners in an online environment. We've dedicated supports and training to introduce you to the different platforms you use. So such as Microsoft Teams that we're on today on this webinar, and Canvas then. Canvas is just a bit like a web page where we just hold all the content. It's a virtual learning space. And of course, you'll be a student of the university, so you avail of all the student supports and services, from a student card, the library services, a dedicated skills centre that have online as well as face-to-face sessions that support you around assignments as well. And then, of course, a very experienced lecturing team and guest speakers also as well that we'll bring in that are applicable to your sector. So I suppose other information that would be useful now as well in your decision making around this, and Matthew mentioned a few of them, is about the fact that it's fully funded, and it's absolutely, you know, incredible and brilliant to see Tirlán supporting their farmer suppliers by fully funding this diploma for 20 students every year. And the only criteria really is that, one, of course, that you're a Tirlán supplier, but that you're at least 21 years of age, i.e. in that you're not an undergrad, because the programme is part of the adult education department here in UCC. So what we're asking is that applicants will initially complete an expression of interest form along with a personal statement by the 28th of June. And then we will review all of those, and we'll be notifying applicants by early August, so that then we can transfer you into our main UCC system. As Matthew said, I'm Belinda Gascoigne, and my contact details are here should you wish to get in touch with me. Also, you'll find all the information on the website, including the expression of interest form at UCC Tirlán, the Sustainable Farming Academy webpage that we've dedicated to that. So that's, I hope, will give you a bit of a taster of what kind of the delivery and what's included. And then I suppose maybe just a little bit more on that actual expression of interest form and the personal statement piece. And I suppose that personal statement piece is probably the key part of the application to us, in that it comprises of a number of questions that we kind of put to you and ask you to kind of address to us, so that we get an understanding of who you are as well, and why you want to undertake it. So we ask you questions on things like why you want to undertake the diploma, give examples of where you already use sustainable practices on your farm, all the amazing things you already are doing. We want to hear about that in there, and then how you feel that you're going to benefit more and add to that practice already. Things like what you're most proud of, and that could be related directly to your work. It could be something completely different. It's again for us to get a sense of you, and very importantly, and I think sometimes this can be perceived as a question of kind of almost a trying to catch you out in some way, but it's actually a really important question to us, and it's about any concerns you have about undertaking the programme, because we want our students to feel really comfortable coming on board this programme, to know that we're here to fully support you every day in your studies throughout the year, and so anything that you feel is a concern to you, that we're able to then address that. That's really important. And then I suppose that, look, while we're giving that level of commitment to you, we're asking what your level of commitment is that you that should you be awarded a place on the programme, that you understand what you're undertaking, and that you're, have considered the hours that you need to kind of commit to it and everything. So I suppose just to bear those in mind, that they are this is a very important part of the evaluation of who gets the places. So to kind of give it your due attention when it comes to the application, and it's really exciting for me, to read them and see what you're up to and why you want to do more. So hopefully that will give you a sense of some of it, and I'm sure you'll have loads of questions now in a few minutes. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to hand you back to Matthew, because it'd be great to hear from one of the current students on the programme. So thank you, and I look forward to your questions shortly.
Thanks, Belinda. That was a really good overview of the course. I just want to remind all our listeners here that you can submit your questions through the Teams Q&A function there. So please keep the questions coming in there. So now we're going to chat to Shane, one of our farmer members, who is from County Kildare, farming alongside his family. So I'll hand it over to you, Shane.
Thanks, Matthew. Hello, everyone. So my name is Shane O'Loughlin. I'm farming here in Oghill, Monasterevin, just off the M7 there. We're presently milking 220 cows in a spring-based system. The EBI of the herd is 237, and I suppose I would have done animal crop production in UCD in 1999 and finished up in 2004. And after that, then I spent a year travelling. I was in New Zealand and America and Canada, and returned home to the farm then in 2006. And I suppose when I returned to the farm, we were liquid milk calving 70 cows in the autumn and 70 in the spring. We sort of brought us forward then to 2015 when quotas went. We would have sort of expanded on the spring side up to maybe 180 cows. And then in 2018, we went all spring, went to 220 cows. But 2015, I suppose, the buzzword was expansion, and the quotas were gone, and that's the way we were going. And then I suppose, when you come on to last year, before I decided to do this course, I suppose there's a lot more now on the environmental side of things, climate change, and I suppose where we fit into that as farmers. And you know, I suppose the main reason I got involved in the course is to get a better understanding and maybe to educate myself a bit more on, you know, where we are as farmers and what's expected of us. So that's, you know, part of why I got involved, you know. I suppose if you want to look at, you know, the reason for me doing the course, I suppose that's basically it. There's a lot of misinformation, I suppose, out there at the minute about farming, and I suppose, you know, through doing this course, you know, you learn a lot about, you know, the environmental side of things, you know, even earth science, a lot of geology, where, you know, where more of an understanding of, you know, what you're doing on the farm, where, you know, like it's like I know a road network, even though you know, there could be something on your farm going wrong and it might only be getting into a small drain, but it's like the small little roads, they all end up on the main roads, and everything does end up, you know, finding its way to rivers and that, and it's just trying to, you know, find a better way around that. But you know, the course has been, I found it very, very good. I suppose the tricky parts of it are trying to manage the just time balance between the farm, family life. Like I'm married to Judith. She's a GP, works off farm, and then I've 3 kids. Hugh is 12, Tom is 10, and Emma is 7. And I suppose at the minute, like a lot of others on the course, I'm a glorified taxi service at the minute, going from GA matches to dancing classes to wherever. So you're trying to mix all that balance with, then I suppose, look, we all know the last year has been very tough on the farm with the weather and all, and just trying to marry it all together. But like the thing I find, look, the course, you know, Belinda said already, you know, three hours a week, like it is that, you know, there's weeks it could be a bit more, you know, when you have assignments and that too, but it's all very, very manageable. And like all the lectures are recorded. So if you do have something going on that you do miss it, you have a chance to catch up and watch it at your own time, you know. Now it is great to get them live because you get more involved in the lectures and the discussion, but there is a, you know, facility there to catch up on it. You know, the assignments part of it is, you know, after every module, or the 3 modules, you have assignments doing each one. But I suppose, look, I would have been out of education, I suppose, if you like, you know, from 2004, say, to 2024, so 20 years, and things have moved on a lot in that time. And I suppose at the start, I would have been apprehensive about it. And but you know, you can suppose think of 50 reasons why not to do something. But I think if anybody is thinking to just say yes, get in and do it, and all the rest of it look after itself. Like on the assignments, there's great platforms there, like on from Belinda and Samantha and all them. Like they'll, you know, if you reach out to them, they'll help you. And the course is designed in a way in the springtime where, like, you know, we'd be very busy February, March, April with Cavan. There's no course time, you know, there's no lectures during that period. And you know, your assignments, like when you finish at the end of January, your assignments are out of the way, so you don't have to be worrying about it until, you know, we get into the next module, you know. So no, but look, I can only say I'd encourage anybody, you know, if you're interested, you know, to give it a go, and you definitely won't regret it. Hope that's.
And Shane, for some of our listeners, did you find some of the elements of the course beneficial to your farm?
Oh yeah, definitely. Like a lot of it on the earth science part, you know, the geology, you know, the hydrogeology part of it, you know, where, you know, just from you know, when it rains, where the rain goes, you know, all the different parts of it. No, I found it very, very good. And then I suppose, look, the other side of it then, like the part on the climate change, like there's lectures there that might have different beliefs to what I have, and it's just engaging with them. And I think something like they definitely changed what I thought about stuff, and I say we probably showed them what farmers are willing to do and the changes we're willing to make as well, and maybe open their eyes a bit too, that you know, when farmers want to be part of, I'd say, the solution and not the problem, you know, so we're willing to work towards, you know, no, I'd say that's it, yeah, Matthew. I'd say that's and
I know you spoke about managing time. Would that have been the biggest challenge, Shane, or what was the biggest challenge?
Yeah, well, for me here, it was the biggest challenge I had, even though in Kildare, was the internet. and the speed of the internet I had at home, it's just, we fibre coming next year, and it's just a pity it wasn't here last year. But look, everybody is drawing challenges no matter where you are, but the fact that all the lectures recorded, and there's such a, you know, you're able to access it anytime. You have an app on your phone for Canvas as well, and it's absolutely brilliant. You're able to, you know, so like as Belinda was saying, with the, you know, the 3 hours a week, like you're able to, at your breakfast, you're able to log in, have a look. You're able to look at it. You're able to cover that time over small little slots. It's not you have to sit down for 3 hours at the weekend or whatever. You're able to just pick up half an hour here, half an hour there. But it's there's a lot of information in it, but it's very interesting, you know. And that's.
Yeah, so we have a number of questions coming in here. Actually, Linda, I've one for you here. You know, from all the applicants that were received last year, Belinda, what stood out from the top 20 applicants that were selected?
Thanks, Matthew. Yeah, really good question. Yeah, and let me tell you, it is no easy task. There is some incredible work goes on in the farms, and you certainly, Shane, as you put it yourself, you know, wanting to be part of the solution for the challenges ahead. For I suppose that the big thing really is what comes out in the personal statement, that people aren't afraid to say what they do. There is great work going on out there, and I suppose it's how we build on that and support farmers in what they're doing. You know, and to build their knowledge base and give them, you know, that I suppose that voice really, and what, you know, you're able to do and what you are doing. So I'd say just the big thing really is to you know, call out all the amazing work you're doing and let us see that, because they're really the ones that. And then how you feel that, you know, you can build on that are really the big things that I suppose stand out for those that get the places on the course. Yeah.
Yes, so Belinda, I think just listen to what you're saying there now and your presentation, you just can't underestimate the importance of the expression of interest form, and, you know, putting as much information as possible into it and really explaining yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
We have another interesting question here, Belinda. One of our listeners is asking, is there further educational opportunities upon graduation? So there's somebody thinking ahead there.
Absolutely. Well, okay, goodness. There is, of course, yeah. So there is, you know, there's students, as I mentioned in the presentation, we also have students that are not from the agricultural background, that, you know, that also do the programme in a separate delivery, and many of them go on. So absolutely there is opportunities to go on and do other studies. Sometimes it comes down to maybe what people want to specialise in. They want to become more proficient and get more expertise in particular areas, like maybe conservation or, you know, monitoring the environment and things like that. There's also, we're actually currently developing another short bespoke programme for the agricultural sector at the next level up as well. So we're looking at that being available to students from next year. So absolutely, yeah, I mean, this is a moving space, and I suppose there's so much going on with the environment and sustainability and the climate challenges we have, that there'll always be continuous progression routes beyond this. But absolutely wonderful to hear that, thinking even beyond this. So that's great. Yeah, very encouraging altogether. Thank you.
So for Belinda and Shane, I suppose if I could get maybe just some key takeaway message from this session and what you'd say to our suppliers. So I go with you first, Shane.
Yeah, well, look, like I said already, if you are thinking about doing it, you won't regret it. And there's, you know, you learn a lot from it, and like, just don't be worried about, like, you know, there's people on the course that maybe have never been to college. You know, there's people on the course of all ages, from, you know, 30s up to maybe early 60s, and they're all getting through it. We're all there together. We have a group set up among ourselves, so if you have any problems, you have a sounding board there. You know, to if you have any questions, any problem. But the staff in UCC are top class, and they'll help you along the way. And look, there is other added benefits to the farm. Like, we're doing an energy audit at the minute and looking at our own farms, and like, I know I've done it and I found ways to save money on my own farm through that. So you're benefiting, you know, with the farm as well. So it's great, you know. So I'd encourage you to, you know, to don't think about all the reasons not to do it. Just jump in, and you'll be here next year behind you, and you'll definitely you won't regret doing it, you know.
That's great. Thanks, Shane. And maybe just one final comment from Belinda.
Yeah, I mean, I second all of that, Shane. You know, the network you have and the learning, and that's exactly it. You could think of so many reasons not to do something, but you know, I suppose, look, you're very progressive in your way of thinking. Tirlán is supporting you to do that as well, which you know is brilliant. And so I would say, look, you know, jump on the opportunity. Don't leave this pass. It's, I suppose, you know, it's a space where like climate challenges aren't going away. So, you know, gaining knowledge now will only be beneficial to you. We're here to support you. We have an incredible year with you. And, you know, as Shane said, you know, it's about, I suppose, you know, coming in with the mind of like, what can I take away from it and glean from it, you know, like he's just doing in his assignment at the moment with his energy review. And, you know, we try and make it as accessible as possible. We try and add to it as much as possible with some guest speakers and bring in even topics that maybe not necessarily part of the main diploma itself. Just as example, like in a couple of weeks' time now, the class will be having, you know, a guest speaker on genetics. So, you know, it's more than what's actually advertised in a way, and we continue to, you know, review it. So I suppose there's just a lot to be gained, and also to be part of a class and a network of people that are all trying to, you know, achieve solutions and adapt in the best way they can, you know, for the future.
That's great, Belinda. I suppose, just conscious of time, I'd like to thank everybody for joining this webinar, and a big thanks to Belinda and Shane, our guest speakers, and also our IT group in the background. So if you want to access your expression of interest form, you can type Sustainable Farming Academy into your search bar, and this will bring you to the UCC information page, which has a link to the expression of interest form. Also, today's webinar is going to be available on your Tirlán Farm Life YouTube channels for anyone that wants to have a look back at the presentations. I'd also like to encourage any of our suppliers logged on here to go onto your Tirlán Farm Life and declare your sustainability actions to continue to get your half a cent a litre under the sustainability action payment. So just before we sign off, I'd like to invite everybody to our farm walk in Donald Kavanagh's farm in Baltinglass next Friday, the 21st of June. So this farm walk is on farming for the future, farm walk and talk. We'll also have a number of our team attending to answer any questions or queries and to give you further information on Tirlán's water quality initiatives. So I suppose with that, I'm going to conclude the webinar, and I thanks everybody for joining, and safe farming.